All right, so we're looking forward to that
I am not going to sleep tonight
because of the Yugoslavian space program.
because of the dog.
Oh, Leica, the space dog.
Did that dog come back
I don't know. Do you guys remember?
I think the dog died.
in space? Did he
As did the
starve?
chimpanzees. Well, they don't bring them back, and they weren't set up
Oh
to do
my
soft landing.
God!
Oh,
How can
that's
they
right.
do that?
I don't even know
Nothing
how
is
those
worth that.
Russians did that. They landed their space stuff on the land, not even in the ocean. I don't know how they did that.
Oh, how inhumane! That is just. I don't care how far advanced we are. If you do that, you collect negative karma. You just don't be doing that stuff.
Well, look what happened.
Yeah.
The wall fell down.
You know, I don't
All
feel
because of
sorry for you.
that space dog.
I
It's bad karma.
I think it is bad karma. I do. I think you don't do that. You.
Bad karma will get you if you don't watch out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why dowsing's a good thing, actually.
Well, let's get busy with the dowsing,
Right
guys. Hi, welcome. Susan Collins and Grahame Gardner.
Good to be here.
Great to have you on the show. Now, boy, where should we start with this? You know what? Maybe we should start, as you suggested, Susan, by giving us maybe kind of a basic kind of summary or definition of what dowsing is for people who might not be familiar with it.
Well, dowsing is basically the detection and transformation of energy. So we can see with our eyes and we hear with our ears and smell with our nose, but there are subtle senses that dowsing can bring us to.
Okay, because when I mentioned to Sandra that you guys were on the show, she said, "Oh, well, I can't douse."
Anybody
Right.
can douse.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
I read in the document.
Well, from what I understand, dowsing. I mean, I don't trust myself. I think it's my mind. I'm thinking I'm giving it the answer I want it.
It's all about your mind, but dowsing is a means of getting in touch with your intuitive side. It lets your mind shut down so that your subconscious comes through. That's really what it's all about.
And there are dowsing protocols that you train yourself to go into a place of accuracy. So dowsing comes from a place of not knowing and not caring what the answer is. So we say a place of ignorance and apathy.
Okay.
So it's hard to dowse about emotional things for yourself if there's a job situation or a relationship situation. But things like food, earth energies, there's lots of things that we can dowse for.
So I'm already seeing how transferable this is to all areas of your life.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Sure.
Wow.
Okay, well, let's find out, like, how did you get into this?
For me, I think a lot of people come to dowsing through an emotional or physical crisis. For me, when I was 29, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. My hands were claws for the next 23 years. Had trouble walking. I was on chloroquine, diclofenac, methotrexate, prednisone all at the same time.
Wow.
Hands were in splints, had to quit my job. So I fell apart. Western medicine couldn't help me. Alternative medicine couldn't help me. Then I found a book in the library written by a former president of the British Society of Dowsers, and it talked about earth energies. So I read the book, and it said cut a branch off the bush. So I went and cut the branch, walked across my yard, and the branch moved. So that was my first introduction
What do
to.
you mean? You walked across the yard and the branch moved?
Well, I was looking for my septic system.
Oh.
So
Like, this is what most people think if they know about dowsing,
Yeah.
is you take the Y-shaped stick, right?
there's a modern stick. In the old
Okay.
days, you would. Can you get that on camera? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
we
on
got
camera.
on camera. Yeah.
Okay. In the old days, you would cut a branch from a tree, but the branch breaks, and it's not always the time of year. So modern dowsers have modern tools. So this is one of them. So when you have a found water target, the branch will drop.
No, okay.
So I did that just from a little book I read.
Wait, I just got to ask you, because I've dowsed.
Yeah.
You know, I've cut that branch and I've walked
You
around.
cut that branch right on.
You know, can it be any branch, or is there a specific tree that's better?
They used to think that certain woods were better for finding water,
Yeah.
but that's really sort of medieval superstition. You know, pretty much anything will do, as long as it has the right degree of flexibility.
Okay.
So-
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So before we get on to your story, Grahame, Susan, but you were trying to deal with a health problem, and now you're walking around your yard trying to find your septic system.
How does that
do
fit
those things
together?
connect? Yeah.
Well, the same book that talked about how to dowse talked about energies in the earth, and that if you're sleeping on them or sitting on them for an extended period of time, that can make you sick in the long run.
Okay, so did you find that there was something that was making you
Yep,
sick? And what was it?
Well, there was we say non-beneficial earth energies. So in my sun porch, I had a lot of crystals all laying around, and they were amplifying non-beneficial earth energies to where I was sleeping. So
I
once
see.
I realized there are earth energies, and this is one of Graham's specialties, once I realized there were earth energies, then I could take steps, first detect where are they, and then help to transform those energies.
So how did you go about doing that? Through dowsing?
Through dowsing, absolutely through dowsing. So that's my path. I don't use expensive gadgets.
But how do you do that? Because you're not finding water, or are you? Is it all about the water, or what are you finding?
Electromagnetic frequencies.
Okay.
So the human body has electromagnetic frequencies, and we're detecting that with dowsing.
So these crystals, you actually, I mean, they're like quartz crystals and rose quartz, like all those kinds of crystals. So you actually thought you were doing a lot of good.
I thought, well, they
With
were
all the-
pretty. You know, what did I know? And I think we do harm to ourselves sometimes with ignorance. We don't know what we're doing.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I mentioned that, because a lot of people use crystals for healing. And so in your situation, it actually had the opposite effect.
It did.
So
Yeah,
if we
'cause
don't
crystals
know
can-
what we're doing, it can actually be detrimental.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Crystals can interact with all these energies and amplify them. So if they're in the wrong place, you get a detrimental effect instead of a beneficial effect.
Wow. So it's not because they're not powerful, it's because they're too powerful
Yeah.
in some
Perhaps.
cases.
So we try to tune the energies of crystals, the earth, the environment, food, tune the energies to our own bodies to make it healthy for ourselves.
So what's good for you may not be good for me.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's all about self-empowerment.
Wow, this is really neat. This is a lot different than I thought dowsing was.
Now, Graham, you're president of the British Society of Dowsers, right?
I am.
And what's your story? How did you get into dowsing?
I read a couple of books when I was a teenager. I was kind of looking for more to life than the everyday senses. So I read a couple of books, and I bent a couple of pairs of coat hangers into dowsing rods, like angle rods, like we have there. And I went out and proved to myself that I was finding water.
Wow.
Didn't do much about it for another 25 years until I saw a solar eclipse in 1999, which really changed my mindset, and I decided I was going to do more with this then.
Now, what was it about the eclipse
Yeah.
that
It
changed
was
your
just a kind of
mindset?
mental switch. I guess, I was in my 40s. That was
Yeah.
sort of midlife crisis sort of thing. I need to get out of working full time and spending more time developing this side of my life.
Mhm.
So that was 1999, and here I am now. I'm president of the British Society of Dowsers.
Wow. Okay. So how does that relate to when we were kind of joking before we came on about the Druids and all that? And we keep hearing about these sacred power spots where churches are built, and if you dig down, there are previous sacred buildings on these
Sure.
sites.
This is kind of more into geomancy, which is what I do. We're interested in the science of call it the science of the ancients, because they did build these temples and churches on previous power spots. Like it's quite well known that Chartres Cathedral in France is built over the site of a druidic dolmen, so deep down underneath. So as dowsers and geomancers, we look for these sort of energies because we can work these energies and harness them into a beneficial spot.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, now we've got a conference coming up, right?
Yes, we do.
And so people can, if they're fascinated by this, they can go. They can attend a conference. It's in Hamilton.
Hamilton,
right?
it's the Canadian Society of Dowsers annual convention.
My friend's going to probably be going.
Excellent.
I'm gonna have to-
Ask her to introduce herself or himself.
It's a him.
It's a him? Okay.
And he's from Scotland too.
Oh,
okay.
this is okay.
Yeah, this is my friend. Yeah,
Right
that
on.
we were talking about before we came
So
on.
it's the 25th anniversary. So of the Canadian Society of Dowsers conferences.
Okay.
So dowsing is an ancient art,
Yeah.
and it used to be something that was practiced more individually and by oneself. But now there are international societies: the British Society, the Canadian, the American. So around the world there are various societies.
We're a little older than you guys, though.
But can you actually use hangers for this?
Coat hangers, yeah, sure.
You don't even have to go somewhere and get special dowsing rods.
Exactly.
It's that easy to do.
It's not
Exactly.
easy, yeah. You can use anything.
Now that we have brought some rods, I've brought little ones here, and I think Graham's got
I've got some on the table
on the
there.
table.
So we have got a whole bunch of stuff.
We
got
have-
some
we have a
stuff that
variety
we
of
can.
tools.
Now we're talking about water, earth energies, and that sort of thing. But you brought some fruit. I brought some
Your
stuff.
salad.
We got some rocks. We got a piece of Mars
Apparently,
here,
theoretically.
and we're gonna see if it's really. Now, what can you do when you're using these implements with this stuff? What are we testing for?
I mean, how do I?
How do you use them? Right. So the tools respond to our intention. If you don't have a specific intention or question, they're just all over the place.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so it's all about the mental focus.
Okay,
it is
so-
a mental discipline.
Can I just try this on air now and see how it works?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Yes. You just. So there's a different response for some people if you can ask to see yes, which one might be open.
Or it might be crossing, like they
Or it
just
might
did
be
there.
crossing. Wow. And a good way to hold them maybe is a little more
Like
tightly.
that?
Well,
Oh,
I
okay.
wouldn't even put them in your fist, yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
straight
that, yeah.
like that? Okay.
And if you hold it, you want to hold it so that they're level and pointing straight out, just like a pair of six guns.
So I have to, but I
Right.
can't point them. They're doing their own thing.
But that's
Tip them
because
down a little bit.
you're thinking.
Yeah.
It's responding to your thoughts.
Stop thinking.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
And that
now,
works.
So now you bring them up a little bit.
No, but see, they're not parallel. You got to hold them up now.
There you go. That's okay there.
But stop thinking is a key point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so
it's
if I
easier
ask
said
a
than done.
question,
It is.
Right?
So if I ask a question,
What question? Formulate your question, maybe about a piece of fruit.
okay, is it like does a yes or no question?
Yeah. Something you can answer with a yes or
An
no.
essay question.
Okay. Okay. So you know what? Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask a question. Okay. It's a yes or no question. It's about Hugh.
Okay, so something personal,
Okay. Then okay.
you know, and also we don't treat it as a joke. This
Okay.
is
Right.
only
Well,
used.
I
No, we're
want
just
it to be
laughing.
something-
We're
I
very
know,
serious
like,
I
about
want it
this.
to be something that there's no attachment to.
Well,
That's why.
obviously you're attached to Hugh.
Okay. Well, it's just about his hair. If he's going to get a haircut, that's all I was.
That's
gonna,
predicting the future.
Oh,
what-
I can't do that.
There's many things you can do. You can look at probabilities for the future,
Yeah.
but a simpler thing might be to look at a piece of food
Okay.
and say, is this a healthy piece of food for me to eat? And then you don't get into haircuts in the future. And,
Okay. Okay.
You know,
So is
practical
this a
things.
healthy food for me to eat like now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or for lunch, because right now you probably don't want to be eating on air.
Right.
It's very specific.
Okay. So let's ask that. So is the apple a healthy food? It does have to be about me.
But first you better know what your yes and no is.
Oh,
Because
okay.
how will you
Okay.
know? It's going
Okay.
to move. So
So
You need
what's
to ask the rods to show me my yes response.
Yeah.
okay? Show me my yes response,
and I always say please. Too.
please. Please show me my yes response.
See, now we're moving into a place where you're serious. Now, just make sure when you're holding it, it can still move.
Yes. it's
Okay, it can't move. Yeah, okay.
There you go.
okay.
There you're stuck. So sometimes people use the tools and they're not sure exactly how, and then there's
Right.
no response or some response. You see, you're thinking about me, so now you're pointing at me more, right?
Well, my focus is on you.
Yeah, so therefore the rods is. So the rods will point to what you're focused on.
Isn't that amazing?
It is.
So see, you're right. It's working when I'm not thinking about it.
Okay, can I try? Well, whenever you're finished, I don't
Well,
want
I-
to.
because I'm.
I just
this
want
is
to.
really
Now
good
that I
for-
learned all the
Want to
stuff.
try the little guys too?
Thank
The
you.
whole trick is to get your conscious mind out of the way so that your
Guys,
subconscious
this
can
is
speak.
not so easy to do.
It's not. That's the part of the
Yeah.
training. So
Okay,
when you
so-
say that you're not confident in your results, it could be that you're not focused. And Hugh, you told me that your rings are magnetic,
Yeah.
and that might be an issue for.
These rods aren't magnetic, they're okay.
These ones
Oh.
aren't?
No.
No, they don't seem
Although
at
you-
all magnetic.
Oh, okay. Those are.
Oh, they
Oh,
are a
those
bit.
bits are-
They
the
are a
ends
bit
are,
on
yeah.
the bottom.
Yeah. And Sandra, you want to be holding them so that the little bead on the bottom is loose.
Oh.
Now, I should point out at the Canadian Society of Dowsers conference, we'll be running dowsing schools.
Yeah.
See.
So right from
You see, and
beginning,
we obviously need it. Well, I don't know about you, but I sure do.
but you're getting responses. So that it will
Yes.
be show me yes, show me no, point to Graham.
Wow, like it's pointing to you because you're doing all the
Yeah,
talking.
yeah. Sorry.
Show me where the nearest McDonald's is.
Whereas, but then that's an interesting one. Show me where the nearest McDonald's is.
Oh, really?
But if somebody in here is named McDonald, it could point to them.
Yeah.
Right.
my goodness.
Okay, let's see.
That's
See, look,
Okay.
they're both pointing to you guys because you guys are both talking now.
That's because we've got the.
Yeah, we're influencing
That's
them here.
amazing.
They're okay. Where's the nearest Starbucks?
Now you want to add direction, so you would say rods point to the nearest
Oh,
Starbucks.
okay, you have
Rods.
to be really clear.
Point in the direction of the nearest
to the
Starbucks.
nearest
and I don't know where that
Starbucks.
is. We can't influence you on that.
Okay, for mine, point to the nearest Timothy's because I know where that one is.
Okay.
So now we've got dead air. So this
Well,
is
we
great.
just this is the dead air. Yeah, clearly,
people
You know
Stop.
what? No, you know what?
This is
Look at. Point to the nearest Timothy's.
And is it over there?
Yes, it
Okay.
is, isn't
So,
it? Yes, it is.
and you're pointing as well.
Well, maybe there's somebody named Timothy over
actually,
here.
that's
Wait a
right.
second.
Mine did point
there you go. Yeah.
because the Starbucks is back there,
Yeah.
but
Okay, where's Timothy's?
over there.
Oh.
Straight ahead.
Okay, see, I'm thinking the Timothy's is over there.
Yeah, so you're influencing the result.
Bad
But there
girl.
could be something called Timothy's over there.
Oh, that's true.
But you know what?
The nearest
Okay.
Timothy's.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a really good point because my sense of direction is really bad.
Okay.
I don't want to say, I don't know that.
Well, okay.
Isn't that interesting?
So we got all kinds of other implements. Now, this. Do you want to kind of
This is a
Sure.
this is a Graham.
mention what?
This is an American tool. It's called a Cameron orometer. It was invented by a famous dowser known as Vern Cameron back in the 60s. And this is really the most versatile dowsing tool, I think, because I can use it like the rods. So I can go left,
Right.
I can go right.
Right. Yeah.
Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I can turn it upside down. I can use it like a pendulum.
Right.
Oh my
So I
God.
can ask my yes and no questions with that.
Uh-huh.
I can make it less sensitive by turning the tip down. And it can also act as a bobber, which is another common dowsing tool.
And it folds up into your pocket.
And it folds up and goes right in your pocket.
Wow.
What a great invention
So, yeah.
for dowsing.
Now, okay, so we obviously need to go to dowsing school, but
Absolutely.
you brought some stuff here. Can we douse this
If you like.
Sure.
just to see what, as professional dowsers, how whatever, we use dowsing to deal with, do something positive with fruit.
Well, okay, so
Well put.
can you actually, I mean, when you ask a question like, is this healthy for me to eat? We know that an apple is healthy for us to eat. So,
How do you know that? You're making an assumption on that.
okay, so see,
How do you know?
I am
Okay, let's
just,
do it. Let's douse
Oh my
for
God.
apples. 'Cause,
Okay.
like, also, would it, maybe it's got some pesticide on it or something
on.
like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And will dowsing let you know that?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you ask, is this apple healthy for me to eat? You're asking specifically about this apple.
Okay, so I'm not asking are apples healthy to eat, which
Well,
is
there's
basically
so many types of apples.
Yeah,
Some
which is
are
what it-
organic.
Yeah.
Some are not. For myself, I
Yeah.
know apples are not healthy for me to eat. If I peel it, I can make it more healthy.
Interesting. Is that an organic one or is that just a regular apple?
We'll ask Graham.
Is this an organic apple? I can know.
It is not an organic apple.
Good.
Is it healthy to eat?
Wow.
Is this apple healthy for me to eat? It's okay.
Okay. Is it
It's
good
okay.
is it good for me
Is this apple good for Susan to eat?
or healthy for me?
No, it's not.
No.
No.
If
Interesting.
we peeled the apple, is it okay for Susan to eat? Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
Is it healthy for Hugh to eat? I get a no in that.
No.
It is washed. What if it was peeled?
Okay. If it was peeled, would it be okay for Hugh to eat? That's a yes.
Okay, so but wait a second. You're on your cleanse. Can you eat apples?
I
on
just
your-
ate an apple this morning.
Yeah, but it's not that apple.
No, it wasn't that apple. But
I'm learning. See,
I
I'm
suspect
learning.
it was. Who knows? But that's interesting about the peel because that's where the pesticides go,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is
And
the peel.
there's probably some wax on there too.
Yeah.
But
Can-
for you, Graham, it was okay to eat it with the skin on
It
it.
was okay for me to eat, yeah.
Because we're all
Okay.
different.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody's got different.
So it's very much an individual practice that instead of like a blanket, this is the fixer for everything, you can start to interact individually with energies, either the food or the earth or people around you.
You just did that so easily. You just did that so quickly. It was so. There was
Yeah,
no
time.
ceremony about it or anything. It was just
Yeah, we did all that before we started, so.
seriously.
There is a protocol for getting into the dowsing zone.
Can we talk
So,
about that a little bit before we douse some more stuff?
Okay, yeah, the most common one that people use, Susan uses quite an elaborate protocol. The most common one is to ask 3 questions, which is can I, may I, and should I? So can I is do I have the dowsing ability to do this? May I is do I have all the necessary permissions to do this? And that may be from, if you're on a land, you might need permission from the landowner, or it can be permission from your guides or higher self, whatever. And should I is there anything else I need to take into account here? So that's the sort of general
So-
catch-all.
Yeah, but should I is a yes or no question. So if
These
you
are all
get
yes
a
or no
no,
questions.
okay. So have
If
you
you get
guys
a-
received no's before?
Yeah, sure.
All the time.
Yeah.
If it's none of our business, no, you can't dose. It's an extremely intrusive technology, potentially.
Yeah. I can give you an example of a no. I was going to douse a little stone circle in Scotland that was very overgrown, covered with lots of bracken and stuff. And I got a no to this should I, and I thought, oh, why shouldn't I do this? So I crept up to it very carefully, and just as I got to the outside of the circle, I discovered there was a nest of newly hatched chicks right by one of the stones. So
Wow.
clearly not a good time for me to be blundering around with my dowsing rods.
So what could that potentially do?
What?
Well, you're going to mess the
Well, I'm going
chicks
to
up.
mess up the chicks. I'm gonna
Because it's
upset them.
energetic, because they're so sensitive to the energy vibrations, that would just make...
No, I think just physically, I would scare the mother birds.
Oh, you mean
She
just
might
your
neglect-
presence
she
being
might
there.
neglect
Okay,
the chicks,
okay.
yes.
That's really interesting. I want to ask you about, they have that Findhorn
Findhorn community,
in
yeah. We've both
Scotland,
been there.
right?
We were there last fall.
I took Susan up there last fall.
And where they work with nature spirits and they're able to grow a lot of this is what I understand, I could be wrong, a lot of food in a very inhospitable type of terrain.
Yeah.
And how does that relate to dowsing?
Dowsing can be used in that way. Dowsing in the garden is a very popular area. People can douse if this area is suitable for a particular plant. You can douse what the pH of the soil is. You can douse what fertilizer to use. There's no end of possibilities.
And you can increase the growth rate of plants too.
Yeah.
Really? How do you do that?
Creating
how does
a
it
pro-
work that? How does it?
Creating the appropriate energy for the plant. So it's as if we can talk to the plant or to the spirit of the plant, if you want to say that.
Okay.
It's not a religion at all, and it's not spooky, but everything has energy, and it's a matter of resonance. So some plants like to be close to other plants, some plants like to be in different places. So with dowsing, you can see where to plant. So we were at the Aurora Farmers Market last weekend to celebrate International Dowsing Day, which was also occurring in Britain and Australia, New Zealand, and the States as well. And demonstrating working with trees, working with plants, and increasing harvests.
Wow.
Also,
But-
the sacred geometry of how you plant. We talk
And
about
where? Where to plant what?
where to plant what, and how, and when.
Some
But-
plants respond to beneficial earth energies and grow very well, but the same plant, if it's on a detrimental area, may not grow at all.
Wow.
This goes back to the earth energies
Yeah.
Right, right.
that are everywhere.
So, sorry, did you want to ask a question?
You go ahead.
Okay, so I was just going to say, I know you said not to ask, you shouldn't be asking questions about, personal things. So it's not okay to ask, let's say you're in a dilemma about a relationship and somebody asks you to marry them. It's not a good thing to ask, should I marry this person?
It's most appropriate if you can be a bit detached. So with proper training and using different protocols, you can get to that place where you know the truth. But it's harder for beginners to do relationship and disease and jobs.
But it is possible at a higher level.
I think we do that all the time.
Yeah, it's possible, yeah.
Every aspect of our lives, 24/7, we're basically dowsing.
Isn't that interesting?
Interesting.
Because you know what, that's energy too, right? It may not
Oh,
be earth energies necessarily, but that's
it's all energy.
as well, right?
Yeah.
If someone is thinking about what kind of school they want to go to, should I go into medicine? Should I go into law?
Exactly.
Maybe
Exactly.
something like that.
Yep, exactly. People say to me, "Oh, you're so lucky that these things happen." It's not lucky. It's because we set our intention to create certain opportunities and then bring the energies into alignment. So when the opportunity comes, A, you recognize it, and then B, you can flow with it.
So it helps you to create your reality, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're happy in
Now I'm
ours.
getting it. See, now I'm starting to get it.
And this at the
Understand it.
conference in Hamilton, May 25th, we have a lot of different speakers that will be talking about different aspects of creating your own reality through dowsing.
Isn't that interesting?
Actually, I think, Graham, you seem to get excited by that. Can you talk about,
Oh,
creating
sure.
reality
Well,
bit?
we each create our reality from moment to moment because we have all these signals going on that our body is picking up every single second, but we're not aware of them because our conscious mind doesn't need to know. So they're all just like shunted down into the subconscious. And that doesn't mean that the body isn't aware of them. And that's what the dowsing lets us access. It lets us access those other signals, that other information that we don't need.
Sometimes if you have a headache or a stomach ache and you don't know why, you can get your dowsing tools out and realize, oh, that is related to a certain event.
Wow.
So that's the
Really?
detection phase.
You know what? I was talking to a girl today who was saying she had a headache and she didn't know where that was coming from.
Yeah.
I wish I knew how to tell her how to do this.
Come to the dowsing school. There you go.
Yes.
Wow.
It's my plug.
Next weekend. It's going to be
It's the
Where is it?
25th
awesome.
in
We're-
Hamilton.
And we're getting all that info.
Oh, okay.
We got more questions,
Oh,
though.
okay.
I hear now, and one of the things is earth energies, right? And that certain places are what they call power spots. Other places are maybe problem spots, like the place where you were living, Susan, when you got sick. And I've heard things like, for example, Detroit is on a bad spot. And
Really?
I heard that, yeah.
Wow,
Which
okay.
might explain why Detroit is in such a sad state that it's in.
But at one time it wasn't. One time when it was like the Motor City was doing really well,
I
wasn't it?
don't know, they always had problems. Don't forget the War of 1812. Lost a battle there. But
okay.
In your experience, Graham, you're traveling all over, especially Britain, which seems to have some very ancient, still remnants of an ancient culture that was dealing with their energies.
We do, yeah. We do. Actually, Susan took me out to a First Nations spot yesterday, and the difference with the energies here and the energies in Britain is quite dramatic, because in Britain there are so many different layers and cultures. Going back to Neolithic times with the stone circles, and then you have the Druids, and then you have the Romans, and then everybody else since then. It's often really hard to isolate a particular time, a particular energy of a spot. Whereas here, because there's so much less going on, it was really easy to tune in.
So you're picking up on other time periods and all of the energies, because that's all stored in the earth.
Yeah.
So do you know or do anything with karma, any negative stuff? Do you guys do cleansing? Do you guys do things like that?
Yeah. My main thing is the earth energies, so I tend to do house clearings. I will get rid of geopathic stress if somebody's not sleeping well, or if they have some chronic ailment. Usually, if there's no other explanation, very often that can be traced to some detrimental energies in the house.
Can you actually determine if it's like a ghost or a being?
We can get into ghosts, yeah, that's one layer you can deal with, yeah. Very often you get ghosts that are just stuck there, we have to move them on.
So what is a ghost, then, from your point of view?
It can be many things. It can be an energy pattern that is kind of stored in the fabric of the building. It can be an actual spirit, an actual soul of somebody that's hasn't
And you know the
gone.
difference?
You can douse the difference, yeah.
And how do you send them on their way?
With love and compassion. And
Do you actually speak to them as you're doing your dowsing?
Yeah, I'll address them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys, have you ever thought of working with ghost hunters and those kinds of things? And
Well, I think for myself, we just move them on, and that doesn't make for much of a good TV show,
Yeah.
right?
no drama.
We don't get into the drama. It's just like, what is the issue?
So you've never had any resistance?
Oh, sure. I've had a couple of ghosts that have been quite resistant to going, but yeah.
But they've gone anyway?
They've gone anyway, yeah. There are various degrees you can, okay, that didn't work, let me try something else,
Wow.
You just have to
Isn't
work
that
with them for a
interesting?
while.
Do you sometimes have to come back and do a second session?
Sometimes you have to come back to the house,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Isn't that interesting? So this gets into all kinds of...
It's everywhere. It's everything.
But a lot of ghost hunting groups these days are using dowsing rods. They sell that as part of the everyday ghost hunting kit, but
Really?
they don't necessarily have the dowsing training
Yes.
to go with the tools.
And also, there's a level of protection that you need
Yeah.
if you're going to go into a site where there is this sort of thing. I call it extra consciousness, because if you use the word ghost, people get a little upset.
Scared, yeah. Yeah.
So if there is an extra consciousness and people go in there without training and without some sort of protocol, the energies can get absorbed into the individual
Yeah.
and
Wow.
create problems.
Well, we don't
So
want to get too...
It's not for amateurs.
We don't want to get too woo-woo here,
No,
right?
no, we don't.
Yeah.
But because...
But it just shows you the scope,
Well,
to
exactly.
what
We're learning
dowsing
that
can do.
dowsing is maybe more than people might think it is,
Yeah.
and people can find out the details at the conference coming up. And one of the things is this food thing, and I just want to ask you guys to... This is
Yeah,
my
check out
salad.
your salad.
I make these... can you just see if that's good for me?
You want to do this one?
Okay, so first off,
Okay.
the word good,
Yes.
it tastes good. So if this was
No.
chocolate, for example, or ice cream, or something you really
And I
like,
said good.
It's
it would
good,
come
yeah,
big
that's
yes.
good. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Is
you
it
have to be
healthy?
really
so is
Healthy.
it healthy for me to eat?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we do a time frame. So you see, I've got my little pendulum going, which we haven't shown yet.
What's yes and what's no for you?
Okay, my yes, and that's a good question. My yes is clockwise.
Okay.
My no is counterclockwise. My neutral is
Okay.
back and forth.
Okay.
My first question, does Hugh want the truth? No.
Is that what it said?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Of course I want the truth.
Okay, do you?
I do.
Uh-oh.
Because here's the thing, if you're going to douse on something,
Yeah.
you act on it, because not acting on it short circuits
So in
that
other
system.
words, okay. Oh, so if you basically
So if you're
say
gonna-
no, that means you have to act on that.
I don't know what... Okay.
So if I said, if this was This is your lunch, right?
Yeah.
Do you have another lunch? Do you plan
There's
to eat
McDonald's.
it? You plan to eat it.
Not today.
You plan to eat
No,
it.
not today. I already had my salad today.
Do you?
So that would
yeah.
be for tomorrow.
So this would be for tomorrow's lunch.
All right. Okay, I'm getting this is not beneficial for you to eat.
Well, what am I supposed to
But
eat
why?
then?
Can you ask why?
Yeah, we can. Why? Okay.
You
Are
can
you on
ask-
some fast or something?
I
did
am,
you
yeah,
say?
yeah.
Okay, this is not. Is this consistent with the other program that you're doing? No.
Yeah, it should be.
So if he's not on the fast, is that healthy for him to
Generally
eat?
speaking, this is a healthy food. What do you
yeah,
get?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm taking it,
we
yeah.
back each other up.
So it's
Oh,
healthy in
okay,
general.
So Graham's
for
doing it at
me.
the same time. Okay.
Yeah. And then he nudges me if I get it wrong.
So
Generally speaking, this is a healthy salad for you. Is this a healthy salad for you today? I get a no.
How about
Was
for
it-
tomorrow?
maybe because I already ate one.
How about for
Maybe.
tomorrow? Can you ask for tomorrow?
This specific salad?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's for tomorrow.
Yeah, that specific salad for tomorrow.
And you keep it in the fridge up there and it's
Yes.
not dressed and everything? Okay, would this be beneficial to eat tomorrow? I get a yes.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We can also
think
do not only yes and no, but is it like 70%, 80% beneficial?
Hey, can we do my rings?
Hey, we could.
Because, somebody told me they're maybe not so good for me. These are the immortality rings.
Okay.
Okay, so since this is magnetic, I'm going to hold them out there.
Sure.
So it's not, so
Okay.
it has its own energy field.
Okay, so dealing with magnetic stuff can actually skew
Well, it's...
if you don't know what you're doing.
Yes, this
Okay.
is true. Also
Okay.
watches,
Okay.
our cell phones, our Bluetooth, everything we put on our bodies in this kind of culture can
How
really
about if you're
mess us
wearing a
up.
diamond ring or a necklace, a gold necklace? Does gold?
Gold is fairly inert, so gold is good.
Okay.
But it's the gadgets, it's our cell phones and everything else.
Okay.
So because this is magnetic, I'm
That's a whole
holding...
other radiation. Though.
Isn't that interesting? Okay.
Okay. So
So
I'm
what-
getting an energy field of these of about out to here, so that's about 12
Okay, so
inches.
it has an energy field, and your question is,
Are they healthy for me to
are
be
they
wearing?
healthy?
Are these healthy for you to be wearing?
How often do you wear them every day, all day? At
As
night
much
too?
as I can. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so the question would be at the rate that Hugh
At the
wears
rate that
them.
Hugh's wearing them, are these rings beneficial to him?
Yeah.
Not going to guess.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Immortality.
You want to find out if they're going to give you immortality?
No, I don't want to know that.
Okay, does you want to know the
I
answer to that
don't-
question?
No,
He already-
don't answer it.
No, we don't want to know that.
He doesn't want to know that.
Thanks, guys. Okay, you have anything,
Isn't
Sandra?
that interesting?
that you want
no,
to,
because I'd be afraid to find out. the
Well, that's the thing. You got to know. You have to want to know the answer. Be willing to act on it. It's extremely powerful what you can find out and what you can do.
It's interesting. I'm more afraid of that than I am to go to see a psychic.
Sure, because this is more empowering to you.
This is the truth, and you can
Yeah,
learn.
yeah,
you can
because-
learn to do this yourself. You never have to go to a psychic again or wear
Yeah.
a fancy medallion.
Okay.
Oh, wow, isn't
Wow,
that
very
interesting?
cool.
Wow, thank you. What an eye opener.
Now, is there
This
anything else
was-
you want to douse? Like, because you brought some other stuff. Is there anything else you wanted to?
No, we just wanted to demonstrate. The generally speaking,
Yeah.
you can look at your food, where you're sleeping, your relationships.
Wow.
There's no end to the
and
possibilities.
Wow. So now you brought a couple of books, and I don't know, we don't have a lot of time left, but let's talk about what some of the speakers or some of the activities, some of the stuff that's going to go on at the conference
At the
coming
conference?
up next week.
The Canadian Society of Dowsers Conference, we have concurrent speakers going on, I think, all day. We are looking at every aspect of dowsing. The information's all on the website, so it's kind of hard to describe it all, but we each bring our own interests. So whether it's dowsing for food or earth energies, Graham's doing a full-day workshop on Friday on the geomancer's journey.
Yeah, because I'm from out of town, they want to work me, so I
Yeah,
have
they're
to do the
making him
whole
work
day.
hard, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And just before we go, show them the two books.
Well, those are two of the books that one's by
yeah.
you, Susan, right?
Yeah, and the other one's by Graham.
Wow.
This is my new book, which is just out.
Dowsing
right
with
here?
Magic.
Literally just out.
That looks awesome.
Yeah,
And this one is Bridge Matter and Spirit with,
With dowsing.
dowsing.
yeah.
So I'm really stunned at how one is, I think, the basics, right? That's
They're
yours,
both
Graham?
excellent books.
Yeah.
We are collaborators,
Okay.
and either one would get you started.
Wow.
Now, just to kind of really sum up, for people that are watching this and might be considering maybe they should go to the conference or not, like, what kind of people should consider coming to the conference?
That's a good question.
And what are they going to get out of it?
Anybody who is interested in finding out anything beyond the ordinary life, I would say.
Okay.
And how much
Well-
how much is it? Did we even go over cost?
It's a very reasonable. The Canadian Society of Dowsers is a not-for-profit volunteer organization. There's no profit in it. So if you go on the website and look at that, it's very
Okay.
reasonable. You can come, I think, for the day, the whole weekend, or the day, or just a workshop. So it's priced
Accordingly.
priced to be accessible to
Wow.
folks.
And it's at McMaster, so
McMaster University.
people can even drive down from Toronto. They don't have to stay the night.
That's true.
Nice.
And Graham, when you're walking around or just moving around the planet, do you sense this is a good spot, this is a bad spot, this is
Well, you have to kind of develop mechanisms where you can tune in if you have to.
yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be overwhelmed by all this energy hitting you all the time.
Right.
So it goes back to that protection thing.
Okay.
So,
Did you guys douse to see if that was a great place to have the conference?
We dose everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
We dose the food, menus, the speakers.
Wow.
The price.
Nice.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one more question,
Okay.
which I wanted to ask, and because just dealing with this radiation that's coming in from Fukushima, maybe we don't really know how much what's happening there, but can dowsing help with that? Can it help? And how can it help?
Dowsing, again, is about bringing yourself into resonance with the environment. So, for example, if there's a fire in a fireplace, you wouldn't put your hand in it because you can see it.
Yes.
With some of this other type of radiation, you can't see it, but you end up with a headache or a stomach ache. So with dowsing, you can at least detect where the fields are and avoid it. But then you can also start to work with those energies to bring them into balance.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
You could find out how powerful the radiation is using your pendulum, just on a scale of, say, 1 to 100%. You know.
Have you noticed, or have you done any tests to see if this radiation is significant or something we should be concerned about, whether in Britain or
I
here?
haven't, actually.
There are many things to be worried about.
Yeah, I know.
That's just not something you've focused on.
Well, I guess there might be some people at the conference that might have done that.
You can ask with dowsing. I ask to have beneficial energies around me all the time,
But
so
you know
that I am
what?
strong.
And to your point though, if you focus on creating your reality and you spend the time creating your reality, then that radiation won't be an issue, will it?
Right. So some people focus on the non-beneficial stuff. If you focus on the stuff that is good for us and ask it to come, that's the stuff that you surround yourself with.
Wow. Okay, that sounds like very sensible. So May 25th to the 27th, McMaster University in Hamilton. And where can people get their tickets or their invitations or whatever they
Online
need?
at
Yeah.
the Canadian Society of Dowsers website,
Which is?
CanadianDowsers.org,
Okay.
and all the
All
information
one
there.
word?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll
Okay.
be on the website, I believe, on this broadcast.
Fabulous. Yeah, we're going to
Yes.
put it on,
Yeah.
Yes.
in the credits. So,
Yeah. So, thank you very much for.
thank you.
for having
thanks,
us.
guys.
Wow, that was
Fascinating.
really,
and,
really interesting.
Yeah.
Talking to you.
So enjoy your stay here, Graham, and
Nice.
Susan. You have to come back anytime, and we'll
Thank
follow
you.
up.
Thank you.
So-
Be happy to.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
Okay, CanadianDowsers.org. We're going to take a little break now,
No more salad today.
and we got the Rabbit Hole is here, and we're going to play one of their tracks now.
And thank you for saying no more salad today because no onions.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, we'll be right back with the Rabbit Hole here on ThatChannel.com.